relationship was literally perfect, but it all came crashing down the night I saw one notification on his phone. It led me to a secret app, and what I found didn't just break my heart. It proved the man I loved was living a crazy double life. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I discovered my boyfriend is gay. It's insane how you can build this perfect life in your head and think it can never, ever be destroyed. That was my life with Alex. For 3 years, he was everything. My rock, my biggest supporter, my best friend. We had the kind of relationship my friends were actually jealous of, the kind you see in movies and think, there's no way that's real. But for us, it was. We met at a barbecue, and I remember seeing him across the yard just laughing. He had this massive, incredible laugh and a smile that would literally stop you in your tracks. From that day forward, we were basically glued together. We built an entire life piece by piece, full of huge dreams and dumb inside jokes. We filled our apartment with furniture from thrift stores and made it our fortress. We even adopted a rescue dog, Buster, who became the center of our entire universe. Alex was the most thoughtful partner you could ever imagine. He'd leave notes on the bathroom mirror, bring me coffee in bed, and he always knew exactly what to say to pull me out of a bad mood. We talked about everything, or so I thought. We planned our entire future. The timeline was locked in, a bigger apartment next year. Engaged by my 30th birthday, and kids a few years after that. We'd already picked out names. I had a whole Pinterest board full of wedding dresses and nurseries. It felt so incredibly real. Our life was simple: work, home, dinner, Netflix, sleep, repeat. Weekends were for farmers markets, long walks with Buster, and lazy brunches. He was part of my family and I was part of his. My mom loved him and was always telling me I'd hit the jackpot with such a kind, stable guy. And I believed her. I genuinely thought I was the luckiest woman alive. I trusted him with everything. Looking back, it's that insane level of trust that makes the betrayal 1,000 times worse. It's like living in a mansion for years only to find out it was built on sand, and the whole thing is about to collapse. And the craziest part is that I never saw it coming. Not until one random Tuesday night, when a single notification blew our perfect world into a million pieces. It was a completely normal Tuesday night. We ordered takeaway, watched some random show, and Alex fell asleep with his head in my lap. His phone, which was normally attached to his hand, was just sitting face up on the coffee table. I remember feeling so incredibly happy in that moment, thinking, this is it, this is my forever. And then his screen lit up. It wasn't a text from his mom or a work email. The notification was a black bar with an icon I'd never seen before. It looked like a weird mask. The message preview was short, but it was enough to make my blood run ice cold. It said, "Someone new is nearby. 250 feet." My heart literally stopped. 250 feet. That's inside our apartment building. Who was nearby? What even was this app? My first thought was that it was some new social media thing. I was trying to make excuses, trying to ignore that sick feeling in my stomach, but the name of the app was right there. Grindr. I knew what Grindr was, a dating app for gay and bisexual men. The confusion was overwhelming. Why would Alex have this on his phone? It had to be a mistake. Maybe a friend used his phone. Was it a prank? My mind was racing, trying to find any explanation besides the obvious one that was screaming at me. My hands were shaking as I gently moved his head onto a pillow. I just stared at his phone, the screen dark again. The silence in the room was deafening. I didn't pick it up. I couldn't. It felt like opening Pandora's box, so I let it go. I told myself I was being paranoid. I went to bed and tried to sleep, but that image was burned into my brain. The next few weeks were actual torture. I went into full-on detective mode in my own house. Every time he was on his phone, I got tense. I started noticing him tilting the screen away from me, which he never used to do. He started taking his phone into the bathroom. Texts came in at all hours, and if I asked who it was, he'd get vague. "Oh, just work," or "it's nothing." His phone password, which I used to know, was suddenly a 6-digit code. I felt like I was actually going crazy. Was I making all this up? I felt so guilty for suspecting him, for betraying his trust by being suspicious. It was a horrible, lonely feeling, The man sleeping next to me felt like a complete stranger. The foundation of our life was cracking, and I could feel myself falling through. It became a war in my head: respect his privacy, or find out the truth. After another week of zero sleep and a permanent knot in my stomach, I knew I had to find out. I had to know. The night I decided to look, I felt like a criminal. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure he could hear it. I waited until he was deeply asleep. Then I snuck out to the living room where his phone was charging. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. I swiped up. The passcode screen, 6 blank spaces. I was instantly defeated. I had no idea what it could be. I tried his birthday. Wrong, my birthday. Wrong, our anniversary. Nothing. I tried the dog's birthday. His mum's birthday. With every failed attempt, a timer locked me out for longer. I was about to give up, literally crying from frustration, when I had a desperate idea: his childhood street address. I typed in the 4 numbers, and for the last 2 digits, I tried the year he graduated high school. It unlocked. I just stared at the home screen, a picture of us on a beach trip. I felt sick. This was it. There was no going back. I took a deep breath and started hunting. I swiped through pages of apps, looking for that black mask icon. It wasn't there. My heart sank. Was I actually losing my mind? Then I saw it. It was hidden in a folder labeled Utilities, right next to the flashlight. It was another calculator app. It looked totally normal, but something felt off. I tapped it. A working calculator opened. I typed 2 plus 2 and it said 4. I was about to close it, feeling like an idiot, when I noticed the decimal point looked slightly bolder. I pressed it once. Nothing. I pressed it 4 times, fast. The calculator vanished and a new password screen took its place. This was the vault, using the same logic as before. I typed the same 6 digits, and then the app opened, and my entire world fell apart. It wasn't just Grindr. It was a whole secret folder of betrayal. There were multiple apps, Grindr, Scruff, and one I'd never heard of called Sniffies. I had to put the phone down because my hands were shaking too much. I opened Grindr first. His profile picture was a headless torso shot. I knew it was him because it was taken in our bathroom mirror. You could even see our laundry basket in the corner. His profile name was Discreet Fun, and his bio said, "Straight acting, in a relationship looking for DL fun. Can't host." Then I saw the grid of faces, sorted by distance: 150 feet, 300 feet, 500 feet. These weren't strangers. They were our neighbors, guys in my own building. The guy from the coffee shop down the street. It was like a secret world was operating right under my nose, and Alex was in the middle of it. Then I opened the messages. That's when my heart shattered. There were dozens of chats going back for months. They were graphic. "You up?" one said. Alex replied. "Yeah, she's asleep. Can you come to me?" "On my way, side door." Another chat was from a week ago, when he told me he was at a late work dinner. "Where are you?" Alex replied, "At the park on 5th, by the benches, pics." He'd sent a picture of himself in the dark, and the timestamp matched exactly when he was supposed to be in a meeting. I clicked on Sniffies and realized it was a map-based hookup app. It was even worse. It showed a map of our neighborhood with little dots for anonymous profiles. I could see his icon sitting right on top of our apartment building. I saw messages about meeting in public toilets, in cars, and in the stairwell of our own building. The betrayal was so massive I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just cheating. This was an entire secret life. Every late night at the office. Every guy's night, every time he was distant. It all clicked. The lies were a giant tangled web, and I was stuck in the middle without a clue. The man I loved didn't exist. He was a character Alex invented to have a normal life, while his real self was operating in the shadows, just a few hundred feet away. I sat there on the cold floor, the phone's light on my face, and I grieved for the man I thought I knew, the future I thought we had, and the 3 years of my life that now felt like one giant lie. I didn't sleep for a second. I sat on the couch with the phone next to me, feeling completely hollow. A weird cold calm took over, the kind you feel after a hurricane destroys everything. The shock was gone, replaced by certainty. There was no coming back from this. When the sun came up, I heard him wake up. He walked into the living room, yawning, and smiled when he saw me. That same smile that now looked like a mask. "Morning, babe," he said. "You're up early." He leaned in to kiss me, and I dodged it. The smile vanished, replaced by confusion. "What's wrong?" he asked. I didn't say anything. I just picked up his phone and showed it to him. The screen was still open to a chat window full of plans to meet a total stranger. All the color drained from his face. I watched him cycle through shock, then panic, and then he tried to lie. "What is this?" "I don't know what that is," he stammered, his eyes darting everywhere but at me. "Don't." "Alex," I said. My voice was a whisper, but it cut. "Don't lie to me. Not anymore." That's when he broke. He collapsed onto the floor, put his head in his hands, and started sobbing. Not just crying, but deep, gut-wrenching sobs that shook his whole body. It was the sound of a dam finally breaking after years of secrets and shame. Part of me wanted to feel sorry for him, but I was paralyzed by how huge the deception was. We talked for hours. Well, mostly he talked. He confessed everything. He told me he'd known he was gay since he was a teenager, but he was terrified of his family. Terrified of not having the normal life he thought he was supposed to have. He told me he did love me, but he wasn't in love with me. He loved the safety and the life we built. He said he used me as a shield, as a cover, and he hated himself for it, every single day. The apps were an escape, but the shame always came crashing back. Hearing him say he loved me but wasn't in love with me was my worst nightmare coming true. Our entire relationship was a lie. I wasn't his partner. I was his cover story. The pain was physical. When it was all out in the open, there was nothing left to say. The truth had destroyed everything. "You need to figure out who you are," I told him, my voice completely numb. "But you can't do it with me. I can't be your shield anymore." That afternoon, he packed a bag and left. The silence in the apartment after he was gone was deafening. I walked through the rooms we decorated, looked at the pictures of us laughing, and felt empty. The man in those photos was a ghost. Our whole relationship was a ghost story. The next few months were brutal. Telling our friends and family was a nightmare. I had to come up with explanations that didn't out him but still made sense. I felt like I was still protecting him. The grief came in waves that knocked me over. Some days I was furious. Other days I was just devastated for both of us. For me, for the years I lost, and for him, for the years he spent hiding. Going through a betrayal this massive feels incredibly lonely. If you've ever had that gut feeling that something is wrong, or if you've been through something like this, I promise you're not alone. It matters that we share our stories. If this video resonated with you, hit subscribe and share your own experience in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. It's been about a year now. Healing has been hard. It took therapy, a lot of tears, and learning to trust myself again. Alex and I don't talk, but I've heard he's living openly as a gay man now. I genuinely hope he finds the happiness he couldn't find while hiding. As for me, I'm healing. I had to rebuild my life from zero, but this time it's on a foundation that's mine. I learned you can love someone with everything you have, but you can't make them be honest with you, and you definitely can't make them be honest with themselves. The biggest lesson was learning to trust that voice in your head that tells you when something is off. It's almost always right. Thank you so much for watching.